Some events in world history have created a butterfly effect and changed the whole history. These events were so influential that if many of them had not happened or had ended differently, known history would have changed completely. Here are those 20 events that shaped history. 1. Invention of the wheel. The wheel was invented in 3500 BC. It is the only means of transportation today. Without the wheel, in order to provide transportation, probably everything would have to be able to take off and move forward immediately without picking up speed like rockets. 2. Invention of writing. Writing was invented in 3300 BC. The record of history has been kept since this invention. It formed the strongest bridge between history and the present. 3. Battle of Marathon. As a result of the Battle of Marathon in 490 BC, the Greeks repulsed the Persian invasion, and it was possible for ancient Greek culture and philosophy to survive until today. 4. Magna Carta. Magna Carta was signed in 1215. With this document, the powers of the English king were restricted and some rights and freedoms were granted to the people. The foundations of the Constitution were laid. 5. Renaissance. The Renaissance emerged in Italy between the 15th and 16th centuries. It paved the way for progress in science and technique and increased the value of human beings. 6. Reform. During the 15th and 17th centuries, as a result of the Reform movement that affected the whole of Europe, the Catholic Church lost its influence and Protestantism was born. 7. French Revolution. Between 1789 and 1799, as a result of the French Revolution, the absolute monarchy in France was overthrown and the Catholic Church was forced to undergo serious reforms. This revolution was a pioneer in other countries and had a great impact on Europe. 8. Invention of the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in 1876. The invention of the telephone formed the basis of communication networks and shaped today's relations. 9. Invention of electricity. With the invention of electricity, the transition to the electronic age began, and with Thomas Edison's invention of the electric light bulb in 1879, the whole world was enlightened. 10. World War I. Between 1914 and 1918, World War I changed the balance of power in Europe. The Ottoman Empire and the Austrian-Hungarian Empire disintegrated and Tsarist Russia collapsed. Turkey, Hungary, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Ukraine were established. 11. The collapse of the Ottoman state and the establishment of the Republic of Turkey, in 1920, with the establishment of the Turkish Grand National Assembly and the proclamation of the Republic of Turkey in 1923, the claims of Britain, Italy and France from the Treaty of Sèvres were suspended and the world map was redrawn. 12. Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party come to power. In 1933, the history of Europe was rewritten when Adolf Hitler came to power. Adolf Hitler started World War II and carried out the Holocaust. 13. World War II. Between 1939 and 1945, World War II resulted in the division of Germany into two parts. The Cold War period began between the USA and the USSR. 14. Battle of Stalingrad. Between 1942 and 1943, Adolf Hitler's landing at Stalingrad in Russia caused Nazi Germany to lose a great deal of power and began the downfall of Nazi Germany. If Hitler had succeeded at Stalingrad, history would have been rewritten. 15. Invention of the atomic bomb. In 1945, it led to one of the most brutal attacks in history. The era of nuclear weapons began. 16. ENIAC. Introduced to the press in 1947, ENIAC, the first electronic computer, is the ancestor of today's computers. 17. The moon landing. In 1969, when Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon, the Cold War-era America was declared a superpower and the space age began. 18. The fall of the Berlin Wall. In 1989, with the fall of the Berlin Wall, the distinction between East and West was abolished in Germany. The German Democratic Republic officially ended. 19. Dissolution of the Soviet Union. On December 25, 1991, with the resignation of USSR President Mikhail Gorbachev, the USSR began to disintegrate, the political map of Asia and Europe changed, and a community of independent states was established. 20. September 11th attack. On September 11, 2001, the world's worst terrorist attack took place. After the September 11th attacks, the perception of an entity under the name of Islamic terrorism began to emerge, and the Middle East was continuously invaded under the pretext of this entity.